What's up, everybody? This is DC with Blackroom Productions. Hey, this is my first introductory video. I'm going to be going over a couple of things with you all. I'm just happy to be in the game. It's been a while, a long time coming. A dream of mine to get my music out there for everyone to listen to, just to kind of go over some of the stuff that's in my head. So, let me tell you what Blackroom Productions is. There's two parts of Blackroom Productions. First of all, there's Blackroom Beats, a beat you hear in the background right now, some of the stuff that I've put together. And what I'm trying to do is lease those beats and make sure those beats are out there for any rapper to rap on, or any R&B singer to sing to, or even dance. I have some dance tunes out there. You know, video games, movies, whatever. Anybody can use the music that I'm putting out, because I have a variety of stuff that's going out there to everybody. The other part are DC Grooves. DC Grooves. I am a musician. I do play the bass. I play a little bit of the guitar, a little bit of drums, and dibble and dabble and keyboard, but mostly a bass player. I'll have songs where it features bass, lead bass, along most of the groove lines. I can't really say I'm a jazz musician. I'm a funk bass player. I play all kinds of style, R&B, rock, gospel, you name it. But I just like to groove, so you'll be able to get those in a different outlet. So you can go to my website, www.blackroomproductions.com. You'll see the beat stuff, and you also see the DC Grooves. Now the DC Grooves, you can actually pick them up on iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Google Play. So those stuff, all those outlets, you can actually get my music with. But the first thing I want to do here today is kind of give a tour of my studio to show you all the equipment that I'm using. I'm probably going to do 2 tours. The reason for that is because I have a bass collection, and I want to make sure that I show off a little bit of that collection as we go along. So stay tuned. Here comes the tour. Welcome back, everyone. This is DC again, Blackroom Productions. www.blackroomproductions.com. Go get Blackroom Beats and DC Grooves. Alright, as promised, I'm going to do a brief studio tour showing you all the equipment that I have to create the beats. And I'll start off with the CPU. The device I use is the backbone, I guess, of everything. I have a MacBook Pro 17-inch laptop. I've had this laptop since 2009 and it's still rocking and rolling. That is the main PC that I use, and it's been doing me wonders over the year. I've been saving up for a Mac Mini to make sure that I have something a little bit more up to date and more stable, but it's been doing me well. Now, the actual DAW that I use is Studio One 3 Pro, and it's been working for me for quite a while. As you can see here, I actually switched from Cubase several years ago. I actually dibbled and dabbled in Pro Tools, but the Studio One 3 Pro is a beast. It actually has everything you need. I love the way you can drag and drop things on it. The stock stuff that they have in there is phenomenal. Of course, I do have some plugins, but other than that, I mean, you know, I use a lot of the stuff that comes directly from Studio One 3 Pro. Now, I do have a couple of monitors set up. As you can see here, I have my main monitor, a ViewSonic, on the top. I guess I really should say the main monitor is this Dell that's on the bottom. It is actually a touchscreen monitor. So if you know anything about Studio One 3 Pro, dragging those effects and instruments from the actual bar over here, the browser bar, onto the tracks, it makes the workflow go a lot smoother when you can actually touch the screen. Now, talking about our main interface, my main interface is my Behringer X32 board. I love this board. It's probably a little bit overkill for someone with a home studio, but as I said earlier, I do have live drums here. I'm a musician, so I'm able to now record all the drum mics at one time. As you can see, this is the Behringer X32. I can record 32 tracks simultaneously. I actually have around 11 mics or 13 mics on the drums by itself. So it's drummers love coming over here to record because they can hear every single note or single sound that they play. So that's incredible for them, and it also makes for good mixing when it's time to mix. Moving on to my monitors. We'll look at, I have 2 sets of monitors right now. I don't plan on getting anything else in the near future. These work just fine for me. My first monitor is my Event Project Studio 8s, and I've had those for quite a while. If I do anything, I might want to get some mains in the future. But I also run that in conjunction with a Samsung subwoofer, and it works just fine. And then for mixing, as you can see here, I have the 5-inch Yamahas. It does quite well for mixing. Now the other equipment you see here, I have a Newmark USB turntable in case I need to get one of my old albums that I have to just do some sampling work with. And also I have a preamp. Preamp is a must if you're going to be doing recording. I have a Behringer tube preamp, works just fine for what I need it for. And I have a Lexicon effects unit. I really don't need it as much because this Behringer board is a monster. It has all the effects you really need, and of course, when you're looking at the DAWs, you can actually add any effects you need as well. And on the very bottom down there, you see it's a Behringer headphone amp. When I'm doing live recordings, I can make sure everybody hears what they need to hear. Now moving on, my main controller is a Akai, should I say. It is the Advance 61. I started to get the Advance 49, but I thought, for just a few $100s or a couple of $100 more, you might as well get the one that you want, just in case somebody that really knows how to play the keyboards comes over here. They can throw down with a full-length keyboard. And if you know what I mean about getting something and having to buy it twice, if you've been buying equipment for as long as I have, you kind of learn to get the biggest and baddest the first time around, or just save up and wait until you get the money to get it. And that's kind of how I do it. I save every month. Over here, this year I picked up the Machine Studio. Man, this thing is something special. It's been a learning curve for me, but I've been able to bang out a couple of beats on it. I have a couple of beats on my site, I think 3 of them. One called Singing Robots I did with this thing. Also Blue Monday. And then my last beat that I just released last week, You Will Learn. I also did it on this this Machine Studio. Man, it's got a lot of potential. I like to mix it in with what I'm doing here with the Akai, and also some of the stuff that I have on the Studio One 3 Pro. As you can see here, I also have a little fader port from PreSonus. As you can see, I have a lot of PreSonus gear. I'm a believer in them for sure. And from a backup interface standpoint, I do have a Fire Studio Project 8 for my backup interface. So that's all it is. That's all I have for the equipment that I'm using to create the beats. I'll give you a tour of the rest of the studio. As you can see here, I have a few things on the wall, not too fancy here. Picture of Bob, picture of my favorite bass players. You have, of course, you have Stanley Clarke, Marcus Miller, and then my favorite player, Victor Wooten. And as you can see here, I have the live drum set up. I wasn't lying about all the mics I have on this thing. And this is a Gretsch 6-piece drum set with various cymbals and all that good stuff. Now let me move over to the microphones. I have two main microphones. Here I have a microphone shield, as you can see. And I have it in this little studio, little bitty section back here behind curtains. As you can hear my voice dampen as I got back here. This is my Audio Technica microphone. Is my main mic. I've had it for a while. It is something special. And it has never failed me when it comes to recording audio or vocals and things of that nature. So I'm very proud of that. And if I can go back over here, I'll show you my other mic, the Sterling, I guess. This mic here that I've used. As you can see in the background, I have a couple other stuff going on, all kinds of old equipment that I still use. And if I show you this, I do have a PA system, so when I do have a band come in here, I have a PR-15's PVs. Not the best sound quality in the world, but let me tell you, they are very, very, very loud. That's for sure. So going back over here, as I said, I'm going to do a separate video of my basses. But I'll just give you a picture of them here. There's a few on the floor here. As you can see, a rack in the background. I do have a few guitars as well. A little rack there, but my main basses are here hanging up. and I'll go over each one of those in a separate video and tell you why I love them so much. I do have a couple of amps. I have this old keytar. It's a Yamaha, believe it or not. It still works when you plug it up to a MIDI device. It's a pretty cool thing. But that's the studio in a nutshell. There's a lot of work that goes on in here. I have a lot of good times, and hopefully you'll be stay tuned as you'll see me in here quite a bit creating beats. I'll close it out here in just a few. Hey everyone, I'm back. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the tour. My first tour. I'm probably going to be doing more tours, more in-depth tours later on. You know, I have a lot of gear, as you can see. You know, you really don't need all this gear to do the music that I do. For the most part, you can, you can put a studio together for less than $1,000, and I'll probably do a video that kind of talks about some of the equipment that I used when I first started. To be honest, to get almost some of the same type of production, you know, in my music. With some of that, some cheaper or less expensive equipment. But let me tell you what I plan on doing in the future. You know, I probably won't get into a whole bunch of doing reviews on gear, but I am going to start tutorials. I think it's very important that I share what I know, and it won't be for any advanced folks. It'll be more for the folks that are just trying to get into the business, or maybe just want to do some studio work at home, build a home studio, just create some sounds that they can listen to in their house or in their car, just to put some stuff together. So look out for those tutorials as they come along. If you have any comments, put your comments below. As I said, I'm new to the game, but I'm excited to be in the game. So you know, music is my passion, it's my love, something that I'll never give up on, as far as just getting music out there to the public. So this is DC signing off. Remember, music is life.